have nothing to prove to anyone, including yourself, and you knew you could not fail, what would you do beyond what you've already done?
What excellent question. Well, I just had about a 20-minute conversation about this very question with Richard Spade in the green room. and we both realized, well, Richard actually pointed out that spending real quality, undistracted time with our kids is what we really want to be doing. And he has managed in recent months, just because of his schedule, to actually do that, and it's been really gratifying for him. And I still have been, you know, making myself busy in the time that I have off from work and not really doing that not nearly enough. And so that's what I would like to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley. We actually saw you in Charlotte, but we're back to see you guys again today for my daughter Ariel's 16th birthday.
Happy birthday, Ariel.
Thank you.
So I let her pick the question since we're here for her birthday. She's a really big Shakespeare fan and wants to know, if you could play any Shakespeare character, who would you play?
Probably Hamlet. It's a daunting task, but I would love to try to do something like that at some point in my life. I spent a summer in London at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. We're kind of working on Shakespeare stuff, and Shakespeare stuff, you know, as we Americans so eloquently say. And it was really, really a fascinating experience. I mean, it's such incredible language, and you know, I mean, you know this, but so many of the things that we say in common parlance in modern English are phrases that Shakespeare coined, and it's just amazing to see how that one writer impacted an entire language, and also an entire, you know, 4 centuries of English class. How about you? Are you a Shakespeare enthusiast?
I'm not as big as my daughter, but I do like Shakespeare.
You know, the Kenneth Branagh film, Much Ado About Nothing. Brilliant. I love that movie. I've watched that probably 5 times. It's really excellent. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. How do your first impressions of the Supernatural cast and crew compare with your other acting jobs?
Well, how can I say this kindly? Actually, so the Supernatural crew and cast, when I arrived as a guest star, were way more welcoming than I think any, no, actually, NCIS. Yeah, that was an incredibly welcoming experience too. But generally speaking, when you're a guest star, you show up on a set, it's not that welcoming. You're the new kid, everyone knows each other, and it's, and the main cast don't care about you at all, and they kind of ignore you. And when I came on Supernatural, the experience was not like that at all. It was a very, very warm, very welcoming environment. Even give the production office gives every actor that comes on the show a little welcome pathfinder with like places to get food in Vancouver, because you know most of the actors are coming out from Los Angeles, and you know things, sightseeing options. It's just like a very nice, thoughtful thing. And then the crew is just like they're very inviting and welcoming. So that was really nice. I, did this sort of weird character for Castiel because I didn't know any better. And I thought angels would be weird because they'd not been around people. Later learned that that's not the case because no other angel-playing actor did anything like that, so I was just a misfit. Even though I was the first one and they should have copied me. But anyway, so I was doing this sort of strange character with Castiel that didn't quite fit in with the show, I think. It's a little off. And ultimately, I think it ended up working. But at first, I think Jared and Jensen were like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? This is a weird dude. And so that reaction that they had to me made me be like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys? And so me and Jared and Jensen, while we were perfect, like always friendly, we had a period of time where it took us, some very, very casual courting to finally feel comfortable with each other. It's something that we look back at and laugh about now, but there was this awkward honeymoon that we had. I'm sorry for using that language. Hi.
Hi, Misha. It's lovely to see you again. I've been to a few cons. I just want to let you know I brought 3 newbies here to get their con cherries popped. So.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, come on, guys.
Wow. Just don't make a mess on the sheets.
I'll make note of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, so do you think that when Castiel made the deal with the empty, when it was between Jack and him in heaven, just a few episodes back.
Okay.
You getting there? Remember the conversation?
Okay, yeah, he made a deal, yep.
Yep, that the empty would comfort him when he finally allowed himself to be happy.
Right.
I kind of picked up on a few others that Cass never allows himself to be happy, so that the empty kind of really made a really bad deal, because I feel like that she's going to be waiting, or that empty's going to wait a very long time. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to get your feedback on that, since Cass always seems to be burdened with something.
Well, I hope that does turn out to be the case, that Castiel is never happy because then he'll die. It could have been one of those don't throw me in the briar patch moments, like, oh no, that sounds terrible, but inside Cass is like, sucker. Nothing ever goes well for us. I'll never be happy. I mean, we do have very, very brief moments of sunlight and sunshine in Supernatural, where it's like, everything is going, oh God, Satan's back. So happiness never lasts long for us, and I guess I could maybe take some comfort in that, but then again, they could just write that in just to make everything sucky for Tess. Thank you.
Hi. My dad brought this up during this past week's episode, the no spoilers, just saying. He was wondering why Sam, Dean, and Cass always wear multiple layers of clothes, like jackets, flannels, t-shirts, whatever. Even when they're in warmer climates, so like the Southwest over there. Why do you think that is?
They're ashamed of their physiques. We had this conversation, I think, shooting last week. We had just we just had a bunch of trees and done this whole big building project, and then we were sort of standing there to admire our work, and we were all clean and not sweaty. And Jensen was like, have we really done all of this work? We would all be in our t-shirts and have huge sweat stains and be covered in, dirt and sawdust. But instead we're just so yeah, we don't seem to sweat very much. You know, in the climate that we're in, like most of the year, it feels better to be layered. But in the summer, it can get pretty awful, and we can get pretty sweaty. And you know, we have these. They bring in these little handheld fans for us, and like, fan our faces. And then they're, you know, they have these big like flexible tubes with air conditioning that we stand in front of, but we never wear t-shirts. I don't know why. It'd be great. Cass would be like, you know what? It's time for the summer trench. Sleeveless. Yeah, it's a really good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. And they never, you know, they never addressed that. Like, oh, we're heading to Florida? Well, better bring your shorts. Yeah, really, really good point. Yeah. Hi.
How do you feel about Cassino's trench coat? Do you ever get tired of wearing it?
Well, you know, the original trench coat, so as you know, when I started on the show, I thought I was going to do a couple of episodes. And so when I put on the original trench coat and the original suit, they were very ill-fitting. Everything was too big. The shirt, even that I wore, was like 3 sizes too big. It was just like, it was billowing out so much that I'd always have to like fold it in the back and tuck it in. And I was like, whatever, let's cut 2 episodes. And then it was years. And I was in this like really baggy, really frumpy outfit. And then, so finally there was an excuse for Cass to get like a new outfit. But he always, you know, just went back to trench. I had 3 trench coats. And I like the one that I'm wearing now. It's kind of lightweight. It's good for when it's hot out. Yep. But I have to confess something. I actually grew attached to the costume and felt like it was kind of part of Cass. At one point, Cass no longer had a tie on. And I was like, guys, I hate this. Can you figure out a way to put the tie back in? Because I feel like it's like part of Cass's thing. It's part of his thing. And so they wrote the tie back in, but they gave him this weird stripe tie. And I hate to be that actor who's like, you know, I really don't like that tie. Stripes don't look good, don't make me look good, they make me look bad. But then I did. I was like, sorry. So after, you know, a year in that shitty tie, I was like, can we find a way to give me my other tie back? And also, I kind of like the other old trench coat better too. Can we go back to that? And then they wrote into the script, nothing. They just changed my costume. We just started the new season with Cass in a new costume. And I was like, oh, okay, well that was easy. Let's solve that problem. Cass is shopping over hiatus. Gave himself a little makeover. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering on Supernatural, just in general, which is your favorite and least favorite storyline?
My favorite and least favorite storyline? How could I answer that question and not get fired? What are your favorite and least favorite storylines? Since your probably employment is not endangered here.
My favorite is season 5, and just the apocalypse, and my least favorite was season 7.
Yeah.
So you're asking which season was my favorite? Sort of. Or which, like, arc? Which
Yeah, which arc?
I can't answer that. Oh, actually, I can. I liked season 4 and really disliked seasons 1 through 3. I don't know way to take my way out here.
I had a photo op with you last year, and I decided to wear giant heels so I could fit in frame with you and stepped on you.
Oh.
It wasn't either of our finest hours.
I'm still recovering from that injury.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, what's been your favorite fan interaction?
Fan interactions?
Yeah.
That one being my least favorite. Well, I don't know. I mean, there are lots of things that pop into my head. You know, as I mentioned, that really, you know, most of the people who have come on the trips with me down to Nicaragua and Haiti have been fans, and that has been a very cool experience, as I mentioned. There's a fan here today who is trans and changed his name to Dmitry Novak. And when he showed me his government ID with his legal name change, that was a really powerful moment for me. It's not the only powerful experience I've had with a fan, but it's one that, you know, pops into my head right now. Wow, that's really amazing that this show and this fandom and the dynamics and relationships that, you know, we have developed amongst, or you guys have developed amongst yourselves and we've developed with you, have been, you know, powerful enough to sort of serve as guideposts in some people's lives in some significant way, and that's pretty meaningful to see. Because, to be honest with you, you know, we spend a lot of hours on set, and it doesn't feel like what we're doing is having any kind of impact, you know. I mean, I guess I was feeling some impact when Jared was on top of me, but... yeah, you know, it can feel just like, you know, we're just at a job doing a thing, and then we come, you know, to these events and meet people who, for one reason or another, sometimes have had, you know, it's had a profound impact on them, and that's pretty gratifying. So, thanks.
Hi, Misha. So,
Hi.
say you're in charge of making insects the most popular food item, and you had $1 billion to achieve that goal. How would you do it?
With magic? I have no idea what you're talking about. What was the word you said? Insects?
So you have to make insects the most popular food item, and you have $1 billion to do that.
$1 billion?
Yes.
Is this like a problem that you're having at work and you're trying to make me? Are you trying to trick me into solving your problems? So just a quick pre-question, or pre-answer question for you. When you were thinking to yourself, what question should I ask? How did you land here? Is this something that's been really cooking your noodle for some time?
I thought you were the best person to answer that question, honestly.
I recently went to a museum in Los Angeles, a museum of disgusting foods. Yeah. And it was quite spectacular. And they had some really an interesting array of foods. I mean, you know, like bull penises and roaches and Mice wine? Have you guys seen this? No. It's a thing. Wine that is imbued with hundreds of fetal mice that are just floating there. Gross, right? They also had Pop-Tarts and gummy bears in this because apparently they're like just the most chemical garbage and it's going to kill everybody. But they also had the opportunity for you to taste some of these foods if you wanted to. And of course I was like, well, I have to taste them. And I have now tried to eat crickets more times than I care to count. And every time, I just can't get past the texture and the flavor and the knowledge that it's a bug. And I really pretend with it. You know, now there's this whole movement to like bring bug protein into the human food pyramid because apparently it's very, eco-friendly to produce and very good for you. You can like make a shake and smoothie in the morning out of it. And I think I might not love the environment that much.
Thank you. Honestly, I think you just have to tell the Supernatural band to do it, and they will probably do it.
Oh, that was a trick answer. I should have taken $1 million for myself. Hi.
Hi, Misha. Thank you so much for being here and taking time away from your
Oh, thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. Well, I know you'd like to take just fun adventures with your beautiful family. I was wondering what your dream adventure would be with your kids and your wife.
Well, there's one thing that I really want to do, which is go up to the Arctic Circle or near it, either the spring or fall equinox to see northern lights, which I caught like a glimpse of once, but it wasn't very good. That's something that I would really like to do. I'd also love to take the kids on like a long kayaking adventure or multi-day bicycle touring adventure. I think that they might be ready for kayaking. I don't know if I could keep them on a bicycle for very long. They tire out still. It's so annoying. Yeah. There you go. Hi.
Hi. Somebody just prior to this said something about powerful experiences, and you yourself are a powerful experience in all of our lives. And we would like to do something for you.
This is terrifying.
Hold on a second. Okay.
Am I missing something from earlier?
The Summer Day by Mary Oliver.
Oh, wait.
Who made
Hold on.
Who made this?
Wait. Okay.
The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made
The world. Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made grasshopper? This grasshopper. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Wow, thank you guys. That's amazing. How long did you have to practice that? Well, that is very lovely. I have to say, you know, Mary Oliver passing away was pretty heartbreaking. She was just such a lovely poet and a really special voice. She, you know, in spite of being this, she was a writer who wrote about nature and, you know, little moments and watching things. And I mean, that poem is really sort of indicative of her work. But she also lived like a hard life. Like she smoked 2 packs a day and was just like this kind of bruiser at the same time. And I think ultimately kind of shortened her life. But yeah, thanks for that. It was very, very sweet. And very excellent performance, by the way. We're all in unison. It's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Bye.